Hello everyone, my name is Sandeep Bhatia, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at Rajkumar Goyal Institute of Technology, Ghaziabad. So, in a series of lectures delivering for a subject microcontroller and embedded systems design, what we have covered? We have covered our unit number first. We have completed it, and after that I'm going to start unit number second. Unit number second is all about the MSP430 microcontroller. So, in this lecture we will discuss the MSP430 microcontroller block diagram. So, these are the table of contents we will cover in today lecture. Introduction to microcontroller, because we are going to start MSP430 microcontroller, we need to know what is microcontroller, what are the introduction to MSP430, main characteristics of MSP430, MSP430 series block diagram, what is the block diagram of MSP430, we will see in this lecture. Description of 430 block diagram. In this slide we will see the detailed explanation of each and every block of MSP430. MSP430 enabled applications, what are the real time applications of MSP430, we will see in this lecture. Example application, we will see some real time example to get the overview of the MSP430 microcontroller. So, let us start with the very first topic, that is the what is microcontroller. Micro means which is very small in size, and we have seen that microcontroller means that all the components are integrated on a same chip. So, basically this can be called as SoC. SoC means that system on chip. System on chip means what is the meaning of the system? System have a input, output, memory, all the components, along with all the components and CPU, all the things are integrated on the same chip. So, SoC means system, means what is system? We can say that the things to carry out the execution are all integrated on a same chip. So, whether it is a microprocessor, CPU, input output peripherals, memory, ROM, whether it is ROM, RAM, we can also say that EPROM, EPROM and flash memory and signal processing unit. So, all the components are integrated on a same chip. Here you can see that this is a microcontroller, all the components needed to run a particular system are integrated on a same chip. So, a microcontroller is small computer on a chip. So, it can be manufactured using the metal oxide semiconductor technology. Basically this is IC chip, this is IC. This is available in many packages, DIP, quad flat packages. So, microcontroller contains one or more CPU along with memory or programmable input output. So, that is why we can call it SoC. Okay. So, basically computer on a chip. So, the qualities of the that can define a microcontroller is, what are the various qualities? First one is the cost. Cost is the main factor, because the cost of the microcontroller is less. Why? Because hardware requirement is less. If in a one platform, if in a single platform all the things are integrated, obviously the cost will be less. So, cost of the microcontrollers for a high volume, low cost devices. Clock frequency, it needs low clock frequency. It has low clock frequency. Why? Compared with other devices, microprocessor and DSP, microcontrollers use low clock frequency. Microcontrollers today can run up to 100 megahertz or 100 million instructions per second. 100 million instructions per second. The power consumption is less. Why? Because hardware requirement is less, cost is less. If the hardware requirement is less, then we can say that power consumption is also less. Okay? As compared to other processors, the power requirement of microcontroller is less. It can be available in 4-bit devices, 16-bit devices, up to 32-bit devices. The bit means how many bits it can handle at a time. So, this can define the particular type of a microcontroller. Okay. After that, there is a memory section. It is available, limited memory available, usually less than 1 megabyte. It has maximum memory capacity is 1 megabyte. This is the introduction of the microcontroller. Now, let us start with the microcontroller in unit number 2, that is MSP430. Now, question arises, what is MSP? MSP means mixed, M means mixed, S means signal and P means processor. So, MSP means mixed signal processor. So, what does it mean? It can carry out analog operations and digital operations. In the previous microcontroller, we have seen that they can work only on digital operations, digital signals, but mixed signal processor, the mixed signal means that MSP430 microcontroller can work on analog signals as well as digital signals. Okay. So MSP430 is a mixed signal microcontroller family from Texas. Texas Instrument have introduced this microcontroller MSP430. So basically this is the 16-bit CPU. My MSP430 is a 16-bit microcontroller. Like 8051 microcontroller, which was 8-bit microcontroller, and we can say that 8085 microprocessor, it was of 8-bit. So MSP430 has a 16-bit CPU architecture. So it is designed for low cost and specifically low power consumption. One of the main feature of MSP430 microcontroller is that it works as a ultra low power microcontroller. Ultra low power means that its power consumption is very low. Its power consumption varies from 1.8 volt to 3.6 volt. Along, if other microcontrollers are available, you can say that they work on the 5 volt supply, more than 5 volt supply available. But the unique characteristics of this microcontroller is that it works on a very low power mode and flexible clock system. We will see in our further slides. So it has a low power consumption embedded application. So what are the question arises, what are the various MSP430 generations. So if we are if you are seeing any particular microcontroller, there are many members available in a family. So here same happened here with MSP430. So in MSP430 family of generation, we can see that there are many versions available. Like first one is the MSP430 into 1 XX series. X may be a F, may be flash memory, G memory. This is G or F means the value line. Okay. So this is the family of series MSP430 3XX, MSP430 4XX, MSP430 5, 6. Okay. And RF module system on a chip, CC430 series, FRAM series, low voltage series, other MSP430 of family. So these are the generation available. There are many versions available in MSP430 microcontrollers. We are not limited to these 10s. There are numerous various MSP430 versions available. You can check in Google. Okay. So let us see some introduction of MSP430. Already we have told that MSP means mixed signal processor, 430 is the series. Okay. So MSP basically MSP430 microcontroller is launched in the 1990 by the Texas Instrument. Okay. So Texas Instrument pioneer in low power microcontroller has released this type of microcontroller in late 1990s. After that, basically this is a 16-bit microcontroller. We have seen that it can work on 16-bit of data at a time. So basically this is basically this has RISC processor. This MSP430 microcontroller has a RISC processor, reduced instruction set computing power. There are two types of instructions, RISC or CISC. So basically MSP deal with the RISC instruction. RISC means reduced instruction, means that the instructions executed by the MSP430 is very less. Okay. So MSP430 have the right mix of intelligent peripherals. Intelligent peripherals means that if we are do with particular unit and if we want to save power supply, the other unit will be deactivated. So intelligent peripherals is that whenever we are MSP430 executing the instructions, the particular unit is needed, it will be only switch on, other units will be switch off. So that's why it is called intelligent peripherals. The peripherals intelligent means that the particular peripheral will be activated only, but the microcontroller MSP430 dealing with that. Okay. Ease of use, easy to use architecture, it has a low cost, we have seen that, and lowest power consumption for thousands of applications. It has a low power consumption. So MSP430 microcontroller is designed specifically for ultra low power application. One of the unique features of MSP430 microcontroller is that it is based upon the ultra low power supply. The power supply is very less. We have seen that 1.8 volt to 3.6 volt in case of MSP430 microcontroller. Okay. It's flexible clocking system. Flexible clocking system is that it has a 3 types of clock. In our next slide we will see what are the various clocks available in MSP430. Flexible clocking system is that whenever we want to need service of particular clock system, it will be activating, other will be deactivated. Okay. So it has a multiple low power modes. That is there are various low power modes available from LP0 to LP4. We will see in detail in our next slide, next lectures. So, instant wake up. Wake up means if it is in a sleep mode, then to the active mode it will take very less time. That is the instant wake up. The activation time is very low. Okay. And intelligent autonomous peripheral, we have seen in this, enable true ultra low power optimization, dramatically extended battery life. So, MSP430 microcontrollers are highly integrated, many components integrated on the same chip and offer a wide range of high performance analog to digital peripherals. These are the basic introduction of MSP430. Now, we are seeing the technical specifications of MSP430 microcontroller, that is the main characteristics. So, it has a low power consumption. We have seen in the introduction part that is a low power consumption. So, for RAM data intention, it is available as a 0.1 microampere, very less, and 0.8 microampere for real time clock. For RTC clock and other watchdog timer mode, it has a 0.8 microampere of power consumption, 250 microampere per million instruction per second at active operation. That is when the things are activated, it has a 250 microampere of power consumption. So, low operation voltage, second feature is that it has a very low operation voltage, that is from 1.8 volt to 3.6. We have seen that it has a very low power consumption. So, it is less than 1 microsecond flow clock startup when we are providing the clock to the system. It has a less than 50 nanoampere in case of a port leakage. So, another feature is that it has a zero power brownout reset circuit. We will see what is the meaning of the brownout circuit in our block diagram. So, it has a on chip analog devices. One of the important feature of microcontroller MSP430 is that it has a on chip analog devices, that is 10/12 32 12/16 bit analog to digital converters available in MSP430 microcontrollers, and 12 bit, only 12 bit dual digital to analog converters. So, basically in microcontrollers there may be ADC DAC available. So, this is the how much ADC DAC available, this is mentioned here. Okay. So, these are the main characteristics of MSP430 microcontroller. Now, more characteristics of MSP430. Comparator gated timers, okay. Operational amplifier, op-amps are available in MSP430. Supply voltage supervisor, we will see in our block diagram what is the role of SVS, okay. 16 bit RISC architecture, we have seen that it has a RISC processor. Instructions processing on other bits, bytes or word. What does it mean? It means that instruction can be worked on bits. We can execute instruction in bits, bytes, or as a word. One word is of 2 bytes. Okay. Compact core design, it has a miniaturization is very much possible in MSP430. It has a compact core design, reduces power consumption and cost. It has a compiler efficient, it is compiler efficient. You can, it is basically MSP430 is compatible with the compiler. Okay. It has a 27 core instructions, it is available as a 7 addressing mode. The addressing modes available in MSP430, there are total of 7 addressing modes, 27 core instructions, extensive vector interrupt capability. Basically, it has a interrupts are available in MSP430 microcontroller. So, extensive vector interrupt capability available in MSP430 microcontroller. Okay. So, this is the MSP430 block diagram. In this block diagram, you can see many blocks. So, these blocks, all the blocks are connected to 2 buses. There are 2 buses, MAB and MDB, you can see here. So, MAB means that, what is the meaning of MAB and MDB? AB means address bus, data bus, M means master address bus, master data bus, or you can say main address bus or main data bus. Okay. So, there are 2 types of buses available in MSP430, MAB and MDB, address bus and a data bus. So, basically all the buses are connected to, all the blocks are connected to these buses. Okay. So, you can see here DMA is connected to the CPU and working registers through this unit. Okay. So, let us start with the one by one. Here you can see that unified clock system. What is the meaning of the unified clock system? You can see there are 3 types of clocks available in this MSP430, A clock, auxiliary clock, SM clock and a master clock. But in other microcontrollers 8051, you can see that there is only one clock available to trigger the system. But in case of this microcontroller, there are 3 types of clocks. So this provide a flexible clock system. For example, if we are providing M clock to the CPU, okay, and this M clock is not available, then other 2 clocks will set the system. But if this clock is unavailable, then how the CPU will work? If this will not available, then a DMA is connected. DMA means direct memory access. It means that when this block will be activated, the role of the CPU will not do anything, and the blocks are getting the data, executes the instructions through the DMA unit. So to carry out the DMA operations, we need to disable the M clock. Okay, we need to disable the S clock. Okay, so 3 types of clock available. Master clock will trigger the CPU, and A clock and SM clock will trigger the timers. Okay, so the timers and other units will be activated by the A clock and the S clock. Okay. Here the CPU have a working registers. Whenever we are executing the instructions, at some time we need to store the data into the register. So for that there are some working registers available in MSP430. Okay. So after that there is a flash memory available. There are many versions available in the flash: 256 kilobyte, 192 kilobyte, 128 kilobyte. In RAM has a capacity of 60 kilobyte. So it means that MSP430 is a 16-bit microcontroller. So the memory interfacing capability is 2 to the power 16. That means that it has a memory capability of 64 kilobyte. Okay. So it has a power management unit. Power management unit means if we need to run the system in a 2 volt, okay, and another unit will needs 3 volt system, this will be set by the power management unit, and this will it has LDO, low dropout voltage, SVM. This will be possible through a supply voltage supervisor, brownout reset circuit. What is brownout? Brownout means it if there is a significant drop in the power supply. If the power supply will not available as per the requirement, then the brownout circuit, what will it do? It will provide the necessary power supply. We can say that it will reset the system. So the system will be reset by the brownout circuit in case of a significant drop in the power supply. So this the condition of significant drop in the power supply will be a brownout condition. Okay. So it has a watchdog timer. The watchdog timer basically reset or restart the microcontroller in case of a software fault. If there is any software fault in the circuit, watchdog timer will restart or reset the processor. So it has input output ports available. There are 4 input output ports available. I am erasing the things for the clear view. Okay. So 4 input output ports available: PA, PB, PC, PD. Okay. And PE. PE has some another function as well, we will see here. So there are 4 ports available: PA, PB, PC, PD, and PE is associated with that. Okay. So each port have a function of 2 into 8. What does it mean? 2 means it is further divided into a 2 ports. Like if we are taking PA, it is divided into a P1 and P2. Okay. PB further divided into a 2, P3 and P4. Okay. So similarly, P9 PE divided into a P9 and P10. Okay. And this is the flex system. Okay. So we can say here that input output ports are available into this register. Another port is PF. PF only 1 into 3 capacity. Other have a 2 into 8 capacity. Okay. So this is available only a 3 input output ports. After that, CPU, we know that main processing task will be carried out by the CPU only. Okay. EM, what is the meaning of EM? Enhanced emulator mode. Basically this is used for debugging the circuit. For debugging if there is any bugs in our microcontroller MSP430, this will be fixed by the EM module. Okay. JTAG, Joint test action group, basically this is used to testing the circuit or verify the circuit. So if there is any testing needed, verification needed to test the MSP430 microcontroller circuit, we need JTAG, joint test action group unit. Okay, all the units are connected to two buses. After that, MPY32, what is the meaning of MPY32? That is the hardware multiplier. So MPY is a hardware multiplier. It is available in our MSP430. After that, timers are available. There are three types of timer in our MSP430: timer A0, timer A1, timer B0. Timer A is available as a 5 CC, means capture compare register. It has a timer A1 has 3 capture compare register, timer B has 7 capture compare registers. After that, there is another block, that is the RTC, real time clock. In any microcontroller, RTC available. Real time clock works, can show time as well as it can works as a calendar to provide the date. It can provide the day in a week, month, year, etc. Okay, all will be displayed through the RTC unit. CRC, cyclic redundancy check. What does it mean? Cyclic redundancy check means that if we are sending the data from the transmitter to the receiver. So at each transmission, there will be a signature at the end of the message. So what is the significance of this signature? The significance of this signature is that the receiver will know how much amount of the message received. If it get the message up to the signature, it knows that they are getting the complete data. So for a precautionary measure to indicate that all the data will be received by the receiver, cyclic redundancy feature is available in MSP430. For example, we are supplying this type of message, so there will be a signature by the MSP430, something indication, something value that to indicate that the data has been completely received by the receiver unit. So after that, there are another units available, USCI, Universal Serial Communication Interface. It has a UART unit, that is the Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. There are USCI, SPI, I2C ports available in MSP430. So after that, there are other block available, ADC, analog to digital converter. It has a 12-bit 200 KSPS, 16 channels, auto scan mode. It works on the auto scan mode. Whenever there is any scan needed in the system, it will be auto scanned by the 14 external. Okay. So here you can see that many blocks are available in MSP430. So there are some signals also available. DVCC. What is the D means? Digital voltage. Digital supply voltage, VCC means the power supply, and VSS means the ground. So there are analog ground and analog supply voltage available. So we have seen that MSP means mixed signal processor. It can works on the analog and digital as well. So for analog digital, there may be a analog power supply available and a digital supply available, and for each ground there is a analog ground and digital ground. Okay. So 4 pins are dedicated into this. X1 and X out, what is the meaning of X1 and X out? Each, so to supply the particular clock pulses, to trigger the system, to trigger the particular clock signals, whether it is a master clock, sub-main clock and a AC clock, we need to send the pulses to the system. Though these pulses, the particular frequency operation is supplied by the X1 and X2 circuit. X1 and X2 will generate the necessary frequency needed to trigger the system. Okay. After that, restart, NMI, that is the maskable, non-maskable interrupts available in case of a microcontroller MSP430. Non-maskable means which cannot be disabled. Maskable means disable, and non-maskable means which cannot be disabled. So if any interrupt going into the microcontroller MSP430, it should be handled. It should be accessed by the MSP430. These are the signals we have seen. Okay. So this is the MSP430 series block diagram. So we will see the detailed explanation of this. Already we have seen the general things. 16-bit, it is 16-bit microcontroller. It is based upon the RISC processor. We have seen also already seen this thing. The controller performance is directly related to the 16-bit data bus. Okay. So data bus available is 16-bit. Okay. The 7 addressing modes. it has a 7 addressing mode. In our further lecture, we will see what are the different addressing modes available in MSP430, and reduced instruction set computing, which allows a shorter and denser program coding for faster execution. The faster execution possible in MSP430 is available through these features. So these MSP430 microcontroller family share a 16-bit CPU core, RISC type, intelligent peripherals. Intelligent peripherals means that if MSP430 need this type of block, only this block will activated, other will be deactivated. So power management unit as well, which makes the feature of MSP430 has a low power consumption is possible through this management unit. Okay, the power management unit will supply the necessary power supply to the MSP430 microcontroller. Flexible clocking system, we have seen that flexible clocking system, MSP430 switch to any system according to the need. Okay, flexible clocking system, and we can say that von Neumann architecture. It works on the von Neumann architecture. Von Neumann, that separate memory and address bus and separate memory available. Same memory allocation for both the program and the data memory, okay, which makes it faster execution. So it has a zero brownout reset circuit. We have seen that brownout reset circuit causes the computer processor to reboot in the event of a brownout. Basically, if there is a significant drop in the power supply is less, brownout will reset the system. Okay. So description, we have seen many things here. Description is that left is the CPU. We have seen that CPU carry out the necessary operations, and there is a emulator circuit. What is the meaning of the emulation? Emulation, we can see that there is a emulator, and emulator basically to debug the circuit we need emulator device. So basically this is the piece of hardware and software through which, if we are working on the we are running one program in our particular system, so it can be generated by the another computer. So this will be done by the emulator. JTAG interface for testing the circuit we need, and SPI wire cable. So it is used to communicate with the desktop computer when downloading a program for debugging. The main blocks are, we have already seen that MAB and memory data bus connected. All the blocks are connected through these two buses. This has a flash memory 1 kilobyte, and other there are various versions of MSP430. F2003 is one of that, and F2013 have a 2 kilobytes of memory. Okay, few blocks are shown peripheral functions. So there are many blocks available in MSP430. So it has a GPIO pins, general purpose input output ports available. So it has a timer A, timer B. We have seen our block diagram, watchdog, timer, all are integrated on a same chip. Universal serial, USI pin available, USART available in MSP430 microcontroller. ADC and DAC available, converters are also available. Okay. So brownout, we already seen our MSP430, the logic of brownout protection circuit. Ground and power supply connections are also available. Power supply plus 5 volt. Okay. So we can say that it is unable to program the flash memory in case if it is less than by 2.2. So, and the maximum clock frequency of 16 megahertz available only if VCC, whenever the supply voltage should be greater than 3.3 volt if we are working on the 16 megahertz power supply. So it has a GPIO unit. So it has a 4 ports, port A, port B, port C, port D. Each port is further divided into 2. So total ports are 1 to 8. Okay. So there is cyclic redundancy module. It provides signature. We have already seen that. Hardware multiplier available. Power management module available through LDO, load dropout voltage, brownout reset circuit, and supply voltage supervisor. It has a DME unit. It has a real-time clock unit. Two types of real-time clock units available, AB in MSP430. USB port also available in MSP430 in 2.0 version. It is fully compliant to USB 2.0. Okay, and it has a data rate of 12 Mbps. Okay, so it has a reference module. What is the function of reference module? Basically, it is responsible for generating voltage required by all peripheral subsystem. Whatever the required voltage needed for any particular block, it will be supplied by the reference unit. Okay. So these are the flexible clock system, A clock, M clock. We have seen all its operations, and the power, the controlling of the clock signal is done through DCA clock, low high frequency circuit, high frequency. So these are the responsible to provide the clock system. Okay. So, joint test action group, we have already seen our system that to testing the circuit we need JTAG group. Watchdog timer, we have seen that to if there is any software fault, this will be watchdog timer will reset the circuit. Okay. So, in last slide we have seen that the many applications of MSP430 in utility monitoring, daily life applications, wireless applications, consumer electronics, energy harvesting, portable medical devices, sensor security, personal health. So, there are a lot of applications, thousands of applications of MSP430 microcontrollers. Okay. So, this is a real time application. You can see this is the microcontroller MSP430 port. There are a lot of pins available here. Okay. So, all the connection will be possible through JTAG interface. So, thank you everyone. I hope you enjoy my lecture. In next lecture, we will see the further explanation of MSP430.